Okay, so yesterday we were seeing this software walkthrough. Let me show you one more time. Okay. So the first trick, it is a menu bar. The second one, it is a toolbar. Third, it is a title bar. So whatever we are seeing, whatever the application, so for that application, it will give us a title. And fourth, it is a application toolbar. This is the easy access menu. Okay. Now we can easily access any transaction through this easy access menu. Okay, so for that you need to go into that particular menu and you need to select that. But every time it is not possible. That is the reason. Okay, SAP has given the command box here. So whatever the transaction you want to run, you just need to enter the transaction code, T code or technical code relevant to that transaction. Okay, and you just need to press enter. But how to navigate through this menu path? Okay, so suppose I want to create a purchase order and I forgot that T code. So anytime you can go through this menu path. So purchase order, it is a part of material management. Okay, material management will come under the logistics. So first you need to go into the logistic. So in that you need to go to the material management. Okay, here you need to create a purchase order. So you need to go into the purchasing. Okay, then select the purchase order. Okay, and then you need to click. Okay, first let me deactivate this. Okay. Logistic, material management, purchasing, purchase order, and create. And you know the vendor, so you can click on here, vendor supplying plant. No. So you just double click here. Okay, it will navigate you to that transaction. Okay. So this is how you can able to access any transaction you want. Okay. So suppose you want to post a good receipt. Okay. Now good receipt, it is a part of inventory management. So go back. Okay. Inventory management, goods movement and goods movement. Okay. Double click here. You will go into the goods movements. Okay, so here you can able to do any kind of metal movement, whether it is a good receipt, good issue, transfer, posting, okay, cancellation, return, delivery, everything you can able to do in a single transaction. So anytime you can come into this menu path, you can access any transaction, whatever you want. Now, this transaction, okay, it can be backed up by T code as well. Depend upon the configuration, like software setting, okay. Against these transactions, okay, you can have the T code. How to activate this? So for that reason, you need to go here in extra. You need to go into the setting and display technical names. Okay. Now again, I will go walk through this logistic, material management, purchasing, purchase order. Now see here, each transaction is having the T code with it. Okay. Each transaction is having T code with it. So if you just click enter this ME58 here, okay, you will get a assignment list. Okay, if you just enter the ME59, okay, you will get the window for automatically convert PR into the PO. Likewise. So from extras, setting, and display technical names. From here you can activate this. Okay, into the menu path. Then suppose you are working as an end user, okay, and you are accessing particular transaction multiple times a day. So every time going into this transaction box, entering that transaction manually like ME21N, okay, and pressing enter, okay, it is a time consuming activity if you are accessing it multiple times a day. So in that case, what you can do, whatever the transaction you access frequently, okay, those transaction you can add in your favorite list, so that you can go there and just double click. No need to enter the T code in transaction box, command box. Okay, so how to add into the favorite? Okay, go to the favorite, insert transaction. Now see here, I usually go through transaction, create purchase order multiple times. So ME21N. See here, it will get added into the favorite. Okay, same way you can able to add the multiple transaction as per your requirement. Okay, okay. So no need to go here. I will just double click on here, create purchase order. I will just double click on here, Migo, likewise. Okay. Then, okay, no, nothing is here in help. Okay. Now suppose you want to create a purchase order and you have entered the data in this screen. Okay. Now, if you want to save this transaction, okay, if you want to generate a purchase order number, first you need to save this transaction. Then and then only purchase order number will get generated. So you can click on this button, save transaction. So once you click on this button, system will create a purchase order. System will save this transaction data into the database tables. Okay. So see here, I'm clicking on save button. Okay, save. System has generated a purchase order number. Likewise. Okay. Now this button, if you want to go back from this current screen, okay, you can click on this green button, back. If you want to exit through this transaction, okay, you can click on this yellow button. And if you want to cancel this transaction, okay, now while creation, suppose if you enter some wrong data and you want to cancel that transaction, you don't want to save that transaction, then anytime you can click on this red button. This is the cancel button. Okay, if you want to print the screen, okay, you can click on this button. As of now, it is a deactivated because it is not printable. If you want to search anything through this screen, okay, you can click on this find button. Okay, then, okay, this page up and page down. Let me go on main screen. Okay, suppose you want to scroll down through this screen. Okay, then anytime you can use this mouse or you can use this next page on previous page. Okay, so if I click here, system will go to previous, likewise. Okay, now see, as of now, I'm working on a single transaction. There is a only single window open for SAP. But at a time, you can able to work on 6 different transactions. Okay, how to do this? Okay, you need to open a new session for that. So by using this tab, create new session, you can open a new tabs. Okay, see here. Now I can able to work on 2 different transactions. Okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so in one screen you can work on purchase order. In another screen you can work on good receipt. May 21 ends. So this is purchase order. Here I can work on Migo. Okay, here I can work on purchase requisition. Okay, so likewise you can able to work on 6 different transactions simultaneously. Okay, more than that it is not possible. So suppose if we try to see here, maximum number of GUI sessions reached. SAP GUI session has been reached. So you will not able to work more than 6 transactions at a time. Okay. How to close this? Okay. You can click on this exit button. Yes, it will close this thing. Okay. You can click on back or exit. It will close this. Okay. Now, every time there is no need to go here, create new session. Okay. Directly through this main command box also, you can open a new session by keeping the current session open. Okay. How to do this? Okay. As of now, see, there is only one screen open. So you need to give the command /O. What it will do? It will open a new session followed by the T code which you want to work. Okay, I want to work a creation of sales order. So immediately enter the T code VA01. Okay, now see here, system will keep this session open and it will open new session in another window. See here, create sales order. Menu path session is still open. Okay, now while working on sales order, I want to check certain data from material master. So /O MM01. Here, create sales order session is open and new material create material session has been opened in a new tab. Likewise. Now, while working on sales order, you want to check the inquiry details and you want to close this sales order. Okay, you don't want to keep this open. So what you can do, you can give the command here as /n. Okay, what it will do? It will close the current session and at the same place it will open a new session. Okay. So here as of now, I am having three window open. One is easy access, one is create sales order, and another one is create material. So /n VA11. So here create inquiry. Okay. Or you want to create an info record by closing this current session /NME11. Okay, create info record. So you can able to access any transaction. I will let you know the T codes for each and every transaction once we start the transaction data. Okay, but this is how you can make use of these shortcut keys. Okay, /n will close your current session and the transaction code which you are going to enter after that, it will open at the same place. Okay, no need to click on this create new session. But if you want, okay, you can click on it. Then here also it is same. Okay, this is title bar we have already seen. Here you can able to add the data into the favorite. Okay, you can delete the data and you can move up and move down. Okay, for rest of the application toolbar, I will let you know in particular transactions. Okay, whenever we are going to see that. Okay, then here you will get the system detail at bottom corner. Okay, which system you are navigating? Okay, it is a DPK, that is a development system. Current client is 800 and you have logged through the user 17 user 176. Okay, so this is the walkthrough for the software. Okay, rest of the things I will let you know while doing the transaction, but these are the basic things which we should aware before using the SAP system. Any query on this?
आपल्याला हे सगळे कोड जे टी कोड आहे ते सगळे बायहार्ट करावे लागतात का?
प्रॅक्टिस करून करून ते बायहार्ट होऊन जातात. देयर इज नो इश्यू इन दॅट. देयर आर व्हेरी फ्यू. ठीक आहे, पर्टिक्युलर ट्रान्झॅक्शन रिलेटेड, परचेस ऑर्डर, PR, ठीक आहे, कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट शेड्यूलिंग ॲग्रीमेंट, मिगो, असे खूप थोडे आहेत. अराउंड मी असं बोलेल की ठीक आहे, अराउंड 30 to 40. ठीक आहे, बट ते प्रॅक्टिस करून करून ते सर्व पाठ होऊन जातात. देयर इज नो इश्यू इन दॅट.
ओके.
And before executing any transaction, I will let you know which ticker we are going to use.
ओके.
Okay. So,
मला याचं PDF मध्ये काही मिळेल का नोट्स वगैरे?
काय झालं?
PDF मध्ये नोट्स वगैरे मिळतील
हा
का
हा,
आता?
I will share you all the tickers.
ओके.
No issue. Yes. We start our first topic, enterprise structure. Just give me a second. Sorry. Okay. So we are starting with the actual syllabus. Okay. Now, before moving into the actual syllabus, okay, we need to know which kind of data are available into any ERP system, not only in SAP system, in any ERP system. Okay, so basically, there are three different types of data available in any ERP system. Okay, first is the organizational data, second one is the master data, and third one is the transactional data. Okay, now suppose if you want to create a purchase order, which detail you enter to create a purchase order? Basically, you enter a vendor detail, material details, and the location for which you are procuring that material. Okay, so these three details you need to enter in the system. Okay, out of that, location detail is a structure of your organization. Okay, you need to enter that data in a system. Okay, you need to know, you need to give this information in to the system that for which plant or for which location you are going to create this purchase order. Now, this location is considered as an organization structure in SAP. Okay, now suppose you are working for Tata Motors, okay, and they are having the different location, okay, across the country. Then you need to mention for which location you are going to create this purchase order. Okay, and this location If you want to enter while creation of purchase order, then this location must be configured in a system. Okay. Then second is material detail, vendor detail. Okay. You can enter this material detail, vendor detail in a system. You can enter the description, base unit of measure, or you can enter the vendor name, his address, his payment term, his contact detail, everything. But if you are dealing with same vendor, or if you are procuring same material multiple times, then entering these detail again and again manually, it is a time consuming activity. It will take time. Okay, for one material, it can be a quick thing. But if you want to enter data for 10 materials, okay, then it will be a time consuming activity. Also, you will not get a uniform data. So like same material, you can write with a different way. Like suppose if you want to procure a raw material 8 mm sheet, then you can write RM 8 mm sheet, RM MS 8 mm sheet. Okay, sheet 8 mm RM. Likewise. So same material you can able to write with a different descriptions. So that means you will not get a uniform data. Okay. So to avoid this kind of situation, what you can do, if you are procuring or dealing with same material, you can store this material details somewhere centrally in a system. And as per requirement, you can call this material detail in a relevant transaction. Okay, same way for a vendor as well. If you are dealing with this vendor again and again, then instead of entering this detail manually every time whenever you are creating purchase order or posting a invoice or posting a good receipt, you can store this vendor detail centrally in a system. And as per the requirement, you can call this detail. Okay, and once you are having this organization data and master data available in a system, then by using both of these two data, what you can do, you can execute any kind of transaction, and whatever the data system will create after that particular to that transaction, it is called as a transactional data. Now first we'll see what is the organization data. So organization data means nothing but a structure of organization which represent in a SAP system. Okay, we need to tell system that what is the structure of organization. How many legal entities does this client is having? Which location this client is having existence? Which are the different organization, purchase organizations are there? Which are the different buyers are available? First, this information you need to enter or you need to configure in a system. Okay. So once we create organization structure, okay, it will change very few times. Only when if you change the address or if you set up a new facility, then only you make a changes in that. Otherwise, you don't make changes in that. Okay, so organization structure, it is a configuration activity. So that means we need to configure this data at a system backend. Then second is master data. So master data, it is a core or centrally used data which can be called in a multiple transaction. Master data is a centrally stored data which can be used in a multiple transaction as per the requirement. So one material. Okay. If I want to procure this, I need to enter this detail while creation of purchase order. If I want to post a good receipt, I need to enter this detail while posting a good receipt. If I want to pay for that material, I need to enter there. So that means one material, okay, can be used in multiple transactions. So instead of entering this detail manually, I can store this detail somewhere in a system. Once I save this detail, system will generate one number against that. And as per the application, it can be material master number. If it is a vendor, then it is a vendor master number, likewise. And whatever the number system will generate, once I save this detail, by using that number, I can call up this information in any transaction, whatever I want. So by using same number, I can create a purchase order, purchase requisition, contract, settling agreement, post a good receipt. Different transactions I can able to execute by using that number. Now, whenever you create any master data in SAP, it will be created with reference to the organization or enterprise structure only. That is the reason before creation of any master or transaction data, configuration of organization structure is a mandatory activity. Okay, so suppose if you want to create a material master, then material master will be created with reference to the location where this material is going to be used. If you want to create a purchase order, then you need to give the detail about the legal entity in which this vendor is going to deal. So whatever the master data you create, okay, you need to give a reference of that organizational element where this master data is going to be used. And once we're done with this organization and master data, see, master data, it is basically end user activity. Okay, consultant will never create a master data. Once we hand over the system to client, it will be done by the end user. Okay, but whatever the configurations are required for that master data, it will be done by the consultant. And once we are having these two different data, okay, then by using that data, you can able to execute any kind of transaction in a system. So transactional data is the most static data and represent the business transaction which takes place. Okay, for an example, sales order, your purchase order, your good receipt, good issue, okay, then your payment processing. These are the transaction. Anything which business perform in a system, those are called as the transactional data. And in order to post a transaction, any kind of transaction, you need to have this detail available in a system, organization and master data. Without this detail, you will not able to post a single transaction. You take any transaction, these two details are mandatory. Without these two details, you will not able to post that transaction. For an example, you want to pay to your vendor. Okay, then against what you are going to pay to this your vendor? For that, you need to have the vendor detail. Okay, now which legal entity is going to pay to this vendor? That means this is the organization data. So that means organization data should be available. And if these both details are available, then and then only you can able to make payment to your vendor. Same way for sales order, you need to have first customer detail available in a system. It is a sales activity. So instead of vendor, you need to have here customer detail. So first you need to create a customer master data. Okay, then which product you are selling? Then you need to have the material master data as well. Okay, and from where you are selling it, then you need to have the plant detail and the sales organization detail. So that means this master, customer master, material master, and the plant and sales organization, this organization data, it should be available. Then and then only you can able to create a sales order. Same applies for each and every transaction which we can able to execute through the system. Okay, so transactional data uses master data and enterprise structure as a fundamental base to execute transactions. Okay, so these are the three different kinds of data that are available into the SAP system: organization structure, master data, and transactional data. Okay, any query on this?
No query. Mm,
Hello, Gitanjali, any query?
No.
Okay, so we'll start from the organization structure. Okay, now what is the organization structure? Okay, as the name suggests, it is a structure of organization which represent into the SAP system. Okay, organization structure. Now suppose in one client is there, they want to start using SAP. Now, for which purpose they want to start using SAP? Okay, to perform a transaction. Which are the different transactions like purchase order, sales order, payment processing, okay, good receipt, lots of transactions are there. Okay, so suppose they want to create a sales order in a system. To create sales order, as we discussed, they need to have the location detail, they need to have the sales organization detail. So without this detail, you will not able to process any transaction. Okay, so that is the reason. First, you need to define the structure of their organization, how they are currently working without system. We need to take a requirement from our client, and based on that, we need to configure that data in a system. Okay, so organization structure defines the organization in a terms of legal requirement, management and external financial reporting. ठीक आहे, आता ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही फायनान्सचं रिपोर्टिंग चेक करता, इट विल बी डन ॲट अ लिगल एंटिटी लेवल. ठीक आहे, फायनान्सचं रिपोर्ट कुठे होतं? लिगल एंटिटी लेवलला. ठीक आहे, सो लिगल एंटिटी मीन्स any organization which is having its own profit and loss statement, which is a form as per the Companies Act. तर त्या लेवलला तुमचं पूर्ण फायनान्स स्टेटमेंट हे जनरेट होतं. त्यामुळे ज्या लेवलला तुमचं फायनान्स स्टेटमेंट जनरेट होणार आहे, ओके, ती लेवल तुम्हाला सिस्टीम मध्ये कॉन्फिगर करावी लागेल. ओके, इट इज अ लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट ॲज वेल. ठीक आहे, जर तुम्हाला एखादी सिस्टीम यूज करायची असेल तर लिगली जी तुम्ही कंपनी रजिस्टर केलेली आहे ती सिस्टीम मध्ये अवेलेबल पाहिजे फॉर प्रोडक्शन पर्पज. So at which location you are executing your production run, so that detail should be available in the system. Okay, where you have stored your inventory, so that location should be available in the system. For which location you are doing the procurement, okay, so that location should be available. So for these reason you need to have the organization structure available in a system. How many legal entities your client is having, at which different location this client is having existence, which are the different buyers are working for that client, okay, at which location they are having the maintenance location, at which level they are doing the planning. So these locations should be configured in a system, then and then only we can able to execute a follow on activity. Other thing is that organization details will provide you the framework for the data structure, anything, whether it is a master data or transaction data. For any of this data, you need to have the organizational detail available in a system. Without organization detail, you will not able to create a master data, not even a transactional data. So that is the reason it is a mandatory thing. Also, it will establish a relationship between your finance, your material, your vendor, and your customer. Okay, how it will build relationship, that I will let you know while executing a transaction. Okay. Now, for different modules, different organization structures are available. ठीक आहे, प्रत्येक मॉड्यूलसाठी त्यांचं सेपरेट ऑर्गनायझेशन स्ट्रक्चर अवेलेबल राहतं. ठीक आहे, फॉर एन एक्झाम्पल सेल्ससाठी इट विल बी देअर कंपनी कोड, देन देअर सेल्स ऑर्गनायझेशन, देन देअर डिस्ट्रीब्युशन चॅनल, डिव्हिजन. ओके, फॉर फायनान्स इट विल बी डिफरंट. It will be their company code, company code, okay, then their controlling area, then their business places, profit centers, okay. And for MM, there is a different organization structure. So we are going to see the organization structure from MM perspective. So which are the organizational units are available in SAP MM? So these are the organization structures are available in SAP MM. Okay, this is the hierarchy. First, it is a client. Second, it is a company code. Third, it is a plant. Fourth, it is a purchase organization. The place of purchase organization is not fixed. It can be under client, it can be under company code, or it can be under plant. It is depend upon the type of purchase organization you have opted. There are different types of purchase organizations are available. That I will let you know once we discuss the purchase organization topic. Okay, then it is a storage location, and the last it is a purchasing code. So these are the organization structures are available in SAP MM. So if anyone asks you the question, can you explain the SAP MM organization structure? Then you need to start from the client, company code, plant, purchase organization, storage location, and the purchase group. Okay, now what is the client, what is the company code, what is the plant? Okay, everything we are going to see in detail. Okay, so let me write down this on Excel so we can discuss in detail. So first is the client, then it is the company code, then it is a plant, purchase organization, storage location, and last is the purchase. Okay, now what is a client? Client means nothing but a corporate group or group of business. Okay, client means nothing but a corporate group or group of business who is having the ownership of multiple legal entities. ठीक आहे. बेसिकली सिंपल वर्ड मध्ये क्लायंट म्हणजे काय, एक कॉर्पोरेट ग्रुप जो की मल्टिपल बिझनेसला ओन करतो. जस्ट फॉर एन एक्झाम्पल, टाटा ग्रुप. Tata Group is a corporate group. It is a group of business, okay, which is having existence in different sector. Like they are into the Tata Motors, they are into the automobile, okay, then electricals, they are into the auto component sector, they are into the IT sector, they are into the telecommunication sector, they are into the retail sector, okay. So that means they are owning the different areas, and for those particular areas they are having the different legal entity, like Tata Motors, TCS, Tata Technologies, okay, then Tata Autocom, Tata Star Bazaar, okay, then Tata Telecommunications. So these are the legal entities are available, and who is the owing this legal entities? This is owing by the client, okay, and client is Tata Group. Okay, so basically client is nothing but a group of business or corporate group. Group of business or corporate group. Okay. Another example, Bajaj Group. They are into the Bajaj Automobile, Bajaj Electrical, Bajaj Finance. Okay. So that means these are the different sectors. In that sector, they are having the different legal entity. And this legal entity is owing by the Bajaj Group. So in this case, Bajaj Group, it will be a client. Now, in actual system, who is responsible to configure this client into the system? Okay, so this client will be configured by the FI consultant. FI consultant stands for the finance consultant. ठीक आहे. ऍक्च्युअल सिस्टीम मध्ये, ऍक्च्युअल रिअल टाइम मध्ये फायनान्स कन्सल्टंट हा क्लायंट सिस्टीम मध्ये कॉन्फिगर करतो. कंसल्टंट इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दॅट. Same way, this company code also, this will be configured by the FI consultant. We are not responsible to configure company codes. We are responsible to configure a plant. Okay, purchase organization, storage location, and purchase book. So these are the activities done by the consultant in actual system. But any organization structure start with the company code and client now. So that is the reason, as we are going to start from the scratch. Okay, that is the reason here we will do this activity from our side. Here FI consultant is not there to help us. Okay, that is the reason we will do this activity for practice purpose. But in actual scenarios, it will be done by the FI consultant. We are not responsible. Okay, now what is the company code? Next is company code means, in simple language, company code means it is a legal entity which is having its own profit and loss statement. Any organization which is having its own profit and loss statement, it is called as a company. It is a legal entity which is having its own profit and loss statement. It is a form as per the Companies Act. It is registered as a separate legal entity. Okay. Now here, suppose consider one group like Tata Group. Okay. Now Tata Group is having the different companies like Tata Motors, Tata Autocom, and TCS. Now, whenever they do any financial transaction, any of this organization, Tata Group or TCS or Tata Autocom, this will get recorded in their separate balance sheet. It is not like Tata Motors has done certain sale and it got updated into the Tata Autocom's balance sheet. or it is not like TCS has raised the invoice and it got updated in Tata Autocom's balance sheet. Each of this legal entity are having their separate balance sheet. That is the reason we call it like TCS is having this much profit in last financial year, or Tata Autocomp is having this much loss in last financial year. We never talk about at client level. आपण कधीच असं बोलत नाही की टाटा ग्रुपला एवढा प्रॉफिट झालेला आहे किंवा टाटा ग्रुपला एवढा लॉस झालेला आहे. कारण तुमचं फायनान्शियल स्टेटमेंट हे कधीही ग्रुप लेवलला एक्झिक्यूट होत नाही. ते एक्झिक्यूट होतं तुमच्या लीगल एंटिटी लेवलला. त्यामुळे ज्या कंपनीचं स्वतःची अशी बॅलन्स शीट सेपरेट राहते त्या कंपनीला काय बोलतात, कंपनी कोड इन अ SAP सिस्टम. The organization which is having its own profit and loss statement, which is having its own balance sheet, this organization is called as a company code in a system. So what is the company code? Organizational unit. It is a legal entity, or we can say legal entity having its own profit and loss statement, or we can say balance sheet. ठीक आहे. आता एखाद्या क्लायंटसाठी किती लीगल एंटिटी अवेलेबल आहेत, किती लीगल एंटिटी त्यांना SAP मध्ये एक्झिक्यूट करायचे आहेत. This discussion will be carried out by the FI consultant. They never involve MM consultant in that activity because it is a purely finance related activity. Just give me 1 second. So legal entity having its own profit and loss statement or balance sheet, this is called as a company code in a SAP. So this company code and client will be configured by the FI consultant. Okay. Now, Tata Motors, as it is a legal entity, but Tata Motors is having the different plant, or they are having existence into the different location. Okay. As per the requirement, they are having the manufacturing facility at Pune location, Pimpri Chinchwad location. They are having manufacturing facility at Gujarat location. Okay, they are having the head office at Mumbai location. For an example, they are having the sales office at Nashik location. Okay, so there that means one legal entity is having the existence in a multiple area, and as per the requirement. As per the requirement, they may have the manufacturing facility, they may have the maintenance location, they may have the sales office, they may have the head office. Now, how this location can be mapped or can be configured in a SAP system. So with the help of plant, we can able to configure this location into the SAP system. Now, what is a plant? So plant is an organizational unit. Plant is an organizational unit which subdivides organization from a viewpoint of production, procurement, planning, and maintenance. Plant is an organizational unit within a logistic which subdivides organization from a viewpoint of production, procurement, planning, and maintenance. So what does it mean? It means that if any of this activity is carrying out independently for any location, then that location will be considered as a plant in SAP system. If any of this activity carrying independently, executing separately, then this location will be considered as a separate plant in a SAP system. कोणत्याही लोकेशनसाठी जर आपण प्रोडक्शन किंवा प्रोक्युरमेंट किंवा त्यांचं प्लॅनिंग किंवा मेंटेनन्स ऑपरेशन हे आपण सेपरेटली कॅरी आउट करत असेल तर ते लोकेशन एसएपी सिस्टीम मध्ये ऍज अ प्लांट म्हणून क्रिएट होतं. ओके, इन सिंपल लँग्वेज, ओके, प्लांट म्हणजे काय असू शकतं? ओके, प्लांट कॅन बी युअर प्रोडक्शन युनिट, it can be your sales office, it can be your head office, or it can be your maintenance लोकेशन. ठीक आहे, यापैकी कोणतीही एक लोकेशन तुमचं प्लांट असू शकतं. ओके, जस्ट फॉर एन एक्झाम्पल, सपोज टाटा मोटर्स, दे आर हॅव्हिंग वन हेड ऑफिस at Pune city location and they are having the manufacturing facility some outside area of Pune location, like suppose they are having manufacturing facility at Ranjangaon location and one plant is at Shirwal location and they are having the head office at Pune city area. Okay, now for head office also they need to do the procurement because some peoples are working there. Okay, they may need some IT related equipment, some stationery. Okay, now while doing the procurement, how you are doing the planning for head office, whether you are doing the procurement planning along with any of this location like Shirwal or like Ranjangaon location plant, or you are doing the planning for procurement separately for your head office. Okay, so if you are doing the procurement planning separately for your head office, then head office should be also considered as a separate plant in a system. But if you are doing the procurement planning along with any of your plant like Shirwal plant or Ranjangaon plant, okay, then this can be a same plant. You can say Pune plant. But if you are doing this activity separately for head office, then head office also considered as a separate plant. Now, this Shirwal and Ranjangaon plant are come under the Pune area. So while doing the production planning, are you considering these two location as the same unit or you are planning separately for Ranjangaon location and for Shirwal location? Okay, if you are doing it separately, okay, then these two location will be considered as a separate plant into the system. But if you are doing the production planning, ठीक आहे, म्हणजे या दोन्ही प्लांट मध्ये काय मॅन्युफॅक्चर होणार आहे त्याचं प्लॅनिंग तुम्ही जर कंबाईनली करत असताल तर ते दोन्ही लोकेशन ऍज अ सिंगल प्लांट कन्सिडर होतील. बट जर प्रोडक्शन करताना या प्लांट मध्ये हे प्रोडक्शन होणार आहे आणि त्याची ही प्लॅनिंग आहे, त्याचं शीट सेपरेट असेल आणि दुसऱ्या प्लांट मध्ये जे प्रोडक्शन होणार आहे त्याचं प्लॅनिंगची शीट ही सेपरेट असेल, तर त्या केसमध्ये बोथ प्लांट विल बी कन्सिडर ऍज अ बोथ लोकेशन विल बी कन्सिडर ऍज अ सेपरेट प्लांट. सेम वे मेंटेनन्स ऑपरेशन सुद्धा जर तुम्ही इंडिपेंडेंटली प्लॅन करत असाल तरी सुद्धा ते लोकेशन सेपरेट प्लांट म्हणून कन्सिडर होणार. दॅट इज अ any one of this activity if you are carrying for any location independently, then that location will be considered as a separate plant into the system. ठीक आहे, तर बेसिकली असं कन्सिडर करून चालायचं की प्लांट म्हणजे नथिंग बट अ मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग फॅसिलिटी. ओके, इट इज अ मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग सेटअप और हेड ऑफिस, ठीक आहे, और युअर सेल्स ऑफिस और मेंटेनन्स लोकेशन. आता मेंटेनन्स लोकेशन म्हणजे काय, एक प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज राहतात, त्यांचं कसं राहतं की एक छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट राहतात, एक एक किंवा 2-2 वर्षाचे. ठीक आहे, आता त्या प्रोजेक्टवर त्यांना वेगवेगळ्या मशिनरीज यूज कराव्या लागतात. ठीक आहे, आता मशीन आलं म्हणजे त्यांचा मेंटेनन्स तुम्हाला करावा लागतो. ठीक आहे, तर एव्हरी टाइम फॉर डिफरंट प्रोजेक्ट इट इज नॉट बेनिफिशियल टू सेटअप अ सेपरेट मेंटेनन्स लोकेशन. ठीक आहे, तिथे जर मेंटेनन्स प्रत्येक साईटवर मेंटेनन्सचे पीपल आपण डिप्लॉय केले तर प्रत्येक प्रोजेक्टसाठी सेपरेट पीपल हे खूप एक्सपेन्सिव्ह राहील, प्लस त्यांना तेवढं काम सुद्धा नसतं. ठीक आहे, मेंटेनन्स असं नाही की तुमची इट इज ऑलवेज गोइंग ऍक्टिव्हिटी. कधी जर ब्रेकडाऊन झालं, प्रिव्हेंटिव्ह मेंटेनन्स असेल तरच तुम्हाला ते करावं लागतं. तर त्या केसमध्ये ज्या एरियामध्ये तुमचे मल्टिपल प्रोजेक्ट चालू आहेत त्याच्यातलं तुम्ही एक कॉमन एरिया चेक करता आणि तिथे तुम्ही मेंटेनन्स लोकेशन सेट करता. ठीक आहे, त्यामुळे कोणत्याही प्रोजेक्टचा जर काही इश्यू आला तर ते त्या मेंटेनन्स लोकेशनला जाऊन त्याचं रिपेअर करतात किंवा प्रिव्हेंटिव्ह मेंटेनन्स करतात. ठीक आहे. आता मेंटेनन्स लोकेशन आलं म्हणजे तुम्हाला काय करावं लागणार, एखाद्या मशीनसाठी स्पेअर पार्ट वगैरे परचेस करावं लागणार. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे तुम्हाला तिथे प्रोक्युरमेंट ऍक्टिव्हिटी फॉलो करावं लागणार. तिथं तुम्हाला प्रिव्हेंटिव्ह मेंटेनन्स असेल तर काही मटेरियलचा तुम्हाला तिथं स्टॉक ठेवावा लागणार. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे त्या मटेरियलचं तुम्हाला प्लॅनिंग करावं लागणार. So that is the reason this maintenance location is also considered as a plant in a system. Okay. So what are the attributes of plant? Okay, so plant has its own address. प्लांटला त्याचा स्वतःचा असा ऍड्रेस राहतो. येस गीतांजली.
ओके. सपोज प्लांट मध्ये आपल्याला पुण्यामध्ये 2 लोकेशन सपोज जसं रांजणगाव आणि शिरोळ आहे
येस.
आणि तिथे प्रोडक्शन आहे. म्हणजे ते
बरोबर.
ऑलरेडी 2 प्लांट आणि त्याचे प्लॅनिंग सेपरेटली चाललं. म्हणून
येस.
पुण्यामध्ये 2 सेपरेट प्लांट असे 4 प्लांट
येस.
बनणार, राईट?
येस. जर
थँक यू.
प्लॅनिंग जर त्या दोन्ही लोकेशनचं सेपरेटली होत असेल तर ते 2 सेपरेट प्लांट म्हणून क्रिएट होतील. बट जर तुम्ही प्लॅनिंग करताना दोन्ही लोकेशन कन्सिडर करत असतात, प्लॅनिंग करताना, मेंटेनन्स करताना, प्रोक्युरमेंट करताना, ठीक आहे, तर त्या केसमध्ये ते लोकेशन तुम्हाला ॲज अ सेम प्लांट तुम्ही कन्सिडर करू शकता. ठीक आहे. क्लिअर?
थँक यू.
यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल आय थिंक.
Oh, I'm not. Yes, I have clear with this one.
ओके. ठीक आहे. आता प्लांटचे ऍट्रिब्यूट्स. व्हॉट आर द ऍट्रिब्यूट्स ऑफ प्लांट? प्लांट इज हॅव्हिंग इट्स ओन ऍड्रेस. प्लांट इज हॅव्हिंग इट्स ओन लँग्वेज. प्लांट बिलॉंग टू वन कंट्री. ओके. प्लांट हॅव्हिंग इट्स ओन मटेरियल मास्टर डेटा. त्या प्लांटमध्ये कोणते मटेरियल यूज होणार आहे, ठीक आहे, त्यासाठी त्या प्लांटचा स्वतःचा असा सेपरेट मटेरियल मास्टर डेटा असतो. प्रत्येक प्लांटसाठी सेपरेट मास्टर डेटा वी नीड टू क्रिएट. ओके. We can able to maintain the data at plant level for below डिपार्टमेंट. ठीक आहे. हा या डिपार्टमेंटचा डेटा एमआरपी, पर्चेसिंग, सेल्स, ठीक आहे, प्रोडक्शन, वर्क शेड्युलिंग, क्वालिटी, ह्या सर्व डिपार्टमेंटचा डेटा आपण प्लांट लेवलला सेट करू शकतो. म्हणजे या सर्व डिपार्टमेंटसाठी प्रत्येक प्लांटला सेपरेट डेटा आपण मेंटेन करू शकतो. ठीक आहे. प्लांट हे असं लोकेशन आहे की जिथे आपण आपली इन्व्हेंटरी स्टोअर करू शकतो. ठीक आहे. अँड प्लांट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द प्लॅनिंग, प्रोक्युरमेंट, डिस्ट्रीब्युशन ऑफ मटेरियल अँड सर्व्हिसेस टू द कस्टमर अँड अदर रिसोर्सेस ऑफ अन ऑर्गनायझेशन अंडर वन कंपनी कोड. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे दुसऱ्या कोणतेही रिसोर्स असेल तुमचा कस्टमर सोडून त्याला जर मटेरियल सप्लाय करायचं असेल सो दॅट विल ऑल्सो सप्लायड थ्रू द प्लांट. ठीक आहे. बेसिकली इन्व्हेंटरी किंवा लॉजिस्टिक मध्ये प्लांट हे तुमचं मेन ऑर्गनायझेशन युनिट आहे. विदाउट प्लांट यू विल नॉट एबल टू परफॉर्म अ सिंगल ऍक्टिव्हिटी. ठीक आहे. प्लांट इज अ मॅन्डेटरी ऍक्टिव्हिटी. अगेन्स्ट प्लांट यू कॅन एबल टू एक्झिक्यूट मल्टिपल ट्रान्झॅक्शन फ्रॉम डिफरंट स्ट्रीम. So anything, any material movement, it will be start from your plant. Then it will do the follow-on activity. If it is a shipping, packing, picking, whatever it is. But it will start through the plant only. Okay. So that is the reason we need to understand based on which parameter we can configure a plant. इंटरव्ह्यू मध्ये असं विचारतात की कोणते ऍट्रिब्यूट्स आपल्याला कन्सिडर करावे लागतात प्लांट कॉन्फिगर करण्यासाठी. सो दिस ऍट्रिब्यूट प्रोडक्शन, प्रोक्युरमेंट, प्लॅनिंग अँड द मेंटेनन्स. So these attributes we need to consider for defining plan. If any of these attributes or any of this activity we are carrying out independently for any of the location, then that location need to be considered as a separate plan. Plant, it can be your production unit, it can be your sales office, it can be your head office, or it can be your maintenance location. Okay, so okay, this can be the structure of your organization, and this here your plant will have their location. Like first, it is your in SAP system. In SAP system, you may have one client. Under the client, you may have the multiple company codes. Under the company code, you may have the multiple plants. ठीक आहे. आता प्लांट हे किती असतात, कसं स्ट्रक्चर असतं, दॅट वी विल डू. आपण एका क्लायंटसाठी इम्प्लिमेंटेशन करू आणि इमॅजिनरी इम्प्लिमेंटेशन करू जिथे क्लायंटला एक लीगल एंटिटी आहे, मल्टिपल प्लांट्स आहेत, मल्टिपल कंपनी कोड्स आहेत. ठीक आहे. सो एव्हरीथिंग वी विल कॉन्फिगर इन अ सिस्टम. ठीक आहे. सो विल स्टॉप हियर. Rest of the organization structure we'll discuss in next session. Okay, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll meet on Monday, Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. So we'll
Okay.
meet on Monday at same timing.
Okay.
Okay. ठीक
Okay.
आहे. Thank you.
Yes,
हाँ,
sir.
एक मिनिट मला लेट मी स्टॉप द रेकॉर्डिंग.
Okay. Okay.